says stop broadcast.
When we want to stop it.
Oh, so we are live. We're good.
We're live right now.
All right, because we just did this. I want to do it again. Okay, we're live from Willowdale. We're just doing a quick little YouTube video about these attacks in Paris. I know everyone's, a lot of punditry going on, a lot of talk about it. So I'm just going to keep a couple minutes. The only reason I wanted to do this quick video tonight was because I'm hearing a lot of talk on all the different shows. Oh, there's going to be pressure on the new government, the new Trudeau government, to change course on security and Middle East policy. A lot of people are saying, well, the prime minister that got on the plane in Ottawa was a different prime minister that got off the plane in Turkey, because all these events have happened in Paris. And I'm thinking, this is crazy. Why should Trudeau change his policies just because of what happened in Paris? Trudeau should stick to modifying Bill C-51. I wish he'd get rid of it altogether. Trudeau should stick to modifying Bill C-51. He should definitely bring in the thousands, 25,000 or more Syrian refugees, and definitely end our air combat mission against ISIS. He should stick to his campaign promises and do it, and do not let events in Paris deter him from doing this and the pressure he'll get from some of the right-wing types. Trudeau should press for a negotiated settlement to the conflict in Syria. They should support the negotiations going on in Vienna right now. The only way we're going to get rid of ISIS is to have a negotiated settlement to the conflict in Syria and Iraq, for that matter. And Canada should do everything in its means to support a diplomatic solution, and get on and do whatever it can to support those negotiations in Vienna, trying to find a diplomatic solution. We should definitely reopen our embassy in Tehran. The Liberals have talked about maybe doing that. We should definitely start talking to the Iranians. They're a big part of the solution. We should lessen our relationship with Saudi Arabia because they are a part of the problem. Saudi Arabia meddles more in the Middle East than Iran does, by far. And ISIS probably gets a lot of cash from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a meddlesome country, and I'm surprised we even consider them an ally. So we should definitely lessen our relations with Saudi Arabia. And we definitely should increase our relations with the Iranians. And we should push for a diplomatic solution as soon as possible. That's the only way he's going to get rid of thugs like ISIS. Thugs like ISIS come out of a political vacuum. They're not religious. They're just a bunch of thugs. They have no ideology. And they're just criminals, basically. And they will, once there's a political settlement in the region, they will probably disappear. So that's what we should do.
There will never be one.
Well, we'll see what happens. Syria and Iraq, as I've said before in previous videos, are finished. Syria will probably be split up into enclaves. Iraq, probably similarly so. The post-World War I borders are done. A new political arrangement is needed. And once we get a political arrangement for the region, a new arrangement, ISIS will disappear. So Canada should push for that, up its humanitarian assistance. Military means alone will not destroy ISIS. Military means alone will not destroy ISIS. So ending our air combat mission against ISIS is the right thing to do. And Trudeau should stick to his policies and not let people sway him from them, because people will try. Okay, on that, I just wanted to say, it's amazing when you see the headlines about. It's amazing when you see the headlines, in the papers today about the attacks in Paris, but people don't realize that a month ago there was 120 people that died in the explosion in Ankara, something aimed against the Kurds, Ankara, the capital of Turkey. There was 120 people that died in an attack on Ankara, and you didn't really hear about it. The capital of Turkey hosting the G20 this week.
Who attacked Ankara?
Well, it's a mixed. It's a complicated situation. We don't know. It was an attack against the Kurds, and we're not totally sure who was involved. So
no grouping.
Yeah, some people suspect some government involvement.
But
the point is, it got very little coverage. 120 people died in the Turkish capital and got very little coverage. On Thursday in Beirut, 43 people died in a suicide bombing. In 2 bombings, 43 people died, and
that was definitely sectarian.
And it didn't get a lot of coverage,
which is fine. I mean, that's.
I'm just trying to make a point here. How the media treats certain things. 26 people died in Baghdad yesterday, and again, it's just a small little item. And of course, the Parisian attacks are huge, and it's just it's about whose lives are more valuable and who gets more coverage. And if there's an attack in North America or Western Europe, it gets tons of coverage. The attack in Ottawa last week got tons of the attack in Ottawa last year got tons of coverage. One person died at the War Memorial. But the carnage that goes on in Central Asia and the Middle East, and it gets very little coverage. And I'm just going to end by showing you the New York Times. So that was the New York Times story on the attack, the suicide bomb that killed 26 people in Baghdad yesterday. It's a small little brief. And of course, here's the headline today about the attacks in Paris. Huge. It just, again, it's sort of the media. The
Arab
media
lives don't matter, right?
Yeah, in many ways, Arab lives don't matter. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. And lives of other people don't matter. But if it's Westerners, yeah. So I just wanted to make that point. And I'm just going to end by, this is a very good issue of Foreign Affairs. You should pick it up. It's about the post-American Middle East. And it's when we're talking about the issues of the Middle East, definitely pick this up. It's worth reading. And it's very apropos of what's been happening. So on that note, that's all I wanted to say. I hope the Trudeau government stays its course and doesn't let what happened in Paris sway it from its course of its policies in terms of modifying C-51, bringing in Syrian refugees, and ending our air combat mission in Iraq. That's all I wanted to say. So that's it. We'll end it.